G'day everyone and welcome to our Tuesday footy feed. We begin at Richmond where coach Damien Hardwick admits his side's tackling numbers will only improve once his players change their attitude. And with the trip to Perth to take on Fremantle Friday night, it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Jackie Reid has the story.
Back to the drawing board, Damien Hardwick kept a close eye on his troops today. He's still shaking his head after the Tigers managed just 4 tackles in the third quarter against Collingwood, but he knows exactly how to turn it around this week.
Oh, it's just an attitude. At the end of the day, you come with a mindset you want to tackle and you want to defend, you get the job done. We're just got to get a lot better at that.
Hardwick admits to a subpar preparation for the Magpies, but what he can't explain is why it happened.
Oh, it happens all the time. Sometimes I like to make love to my wife. I don't perform to the highest standard.
The Tigers take on Fremantle at Patterson Stadium on Friday in what will be Zach Dawson's 100th game, and the defender has paid tribute to coach Ross Lyon for showing faith in him.
He kind of got me off the scrap heap at St Kilda, so I could say I could have done it without him, but you probably couldn't have.
His job won't be easy this weekend with Jack Riewoldt, his likely opponent.
You always look forward to the big challenges as a backman. We don't get too much glory down back, so it's kind of a weird thing. You look forward to playing on the bigger players because that's kind of the most exciting part of your job.
Jackie Reid, AFL.com.au.
A furious Scott Watters won't guarantee Stephen Milne a place back in the St Kilda side after he serves his one-game suspension. The Saints jetted off to New Zealand this morning for the Anzac Day clash against the Sydney Swans, minus Milne, the veteran missing the historic day after this controversial incident, much to his coach's disgust.
In all reality, it was pretty low level. It was, if you want my blunt assessment, it was just stupid.
Veterans Sean Dempster and Justin Kajitsky did make the trip. Meanwhile, the Swans have already had their first look at Wellington's Westpac Stadium.
Yeah, we're professionals. We've played in all types of windy conditions. I originally played most of my football in Ballarat and it's wet, cold and windy there.
Wellington's forecast for Thursday, 17, with the chance of a storm. A new development in the Essendon supplements scandal with the World Anti-Doping Agency confirming the anti-obesity drug allegedly given to Bombers players is a banned substance. Former Bombers sports scientist Stephen Dank allegedly administered AOD 9604, which has not been cleared for human use. It's yet another distraction ahead of the Anzac Day blockbuster against Collingwood. Fists were flying as the Magpies trained today. They're preparing, of course, for the traditional clash, and with just a 5-day break, it's fair to say they're taking things pretty lightly. Big man Quinton Lynch preparing for his first experience in the biggest game of the home and away season.
It's going to take a real hard contested game of footy to win Anzac Day. I think these games are always going to be hard fought and usually go down to the wire. So it's just going to who can stick it out the longest really.
Darren Jolly will most likely return for the encounter. Geelong is standing by youngster Daniel Menzel, who's facing a 4th knee reconstruction. The 21-year-old is yet to decide on his football future, but the setback has clearly rocked the Cats.
I think it was the hardest I've ever had in footy. It's devastating for all of us. But the one thing we can be unequivocal on is that we are committed to him, as long as it takes.
The Cats did have something to celebrate today, though, as George Hall-Smith received this week's NAB Rising Star nomination. Playing just his 5th game, the 20-year-old midfielder had 23 touches in his side's win over the Swans. And Kevin Sheedy was in the nation's capital today talking up the Giants' clash with the Gold Coast on Saturday, but his big selling point will be playing for the opposition.
The big thing about coming up here on Saturday is you're going to have one of the most brilliant footballers come into Canberra and play, and that's Gary Ablett Jr.
The AFL's newest teams have a head-to-head record of 1 win apiece. And that is all for our footy feed this Tuesday. More news, of course, as it breaks on AFL.com.au. I'm Matt Thompson. See you tomorrow.